talk about a super cool topic, 3D printing. You may have heard about 3D printing being used to create all kinds of objects, from tools to toys to even prosthetics. So what is it exactly? 3D printing is simply the making of an object in an additive manner. In other words, rather than carving an object from a large piece of material or pouring the material into a mold, 3D printing builds an object from the bottom up, continuously adding bit by bit. There is no carving, no injection molding, and little or no excess material. The material is laid down layer by layer, and all the layers together make the finished product. This might be a little hard to imagine, so let's go to the kitchen to break it down. This is a pastry bag. It's filled with cake icing. At the end of the bag is a metal tip where the icing comes out. There's also a piece called a coupler that attaches the tip to the bag. The concept is simple. Squeeze the bag and the icing comes out of the metal tip. Anyone who's decorated with a pastry bag can tell you that the warmer your hand is, the faster the icing comes out of the tip and the softer it is. Likewise, if the icing has been in the refrigerator for a while, it will be harder to squeeze. This is because the heat of your hand melts the fats in the icing, which causes it to flow better. When the opening is a fixed size, this process is called extrusion. Extrusion techniques are used in many food applications on a large scale to create breakfast cereals, pasta, pre-made cookie dough, pet foods, and many ready-to-eat snacks. But it works on a small scale too, to decorate cakes and cookies. The extrusion process is similar in a 3D printer, only instead of icing, we use plastic, and instead of having a bag on top, the material is fed in gradually. The plastic used in 3D printers comes in the form of long wire called filament. The filament is rolled onto spools. The spool is mounted on the 3D printer, and the filament is fed in through the top of the print head. The print head acts like the decorating tip, extruding plastic instead of icing. And the heat from your hand? This heat is provided by the print head itself, which is hot enough to melt the plastic. This allows the plastic to ooze out of the print head in a liquid form and harden again once it is laid down on the print bed. Just as you can write your name using the pastry bag full of icing, the print head can move too. It moves back and forth across the printing area, extruding as it goes. It lays down a single layer of plastic, and then another, building the object from bottom to top. The pattern of movement is usually determined by a computer, which calculates the optimal movement path of the print head based on the size and shape of the object being printed. I think we can all agree that the pastry bag is a pretty versatile kitchen tool. It can be filled with any kind of icing, whipped cream, melted chocolate, or any number of sauces. Likewise, 3D printing is pretty versatile when it comes to what can be extruded. Plastic is by far the most commonly used material. The two main types of plastic used in 3D printers are acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, or ABS, and polylactic acid, or PLA. But plenty of other materials have been used successfully in 3D printing too, including metal, epoxy resins, carbon fibers, concrete, wax, and even stem cells. Yes, you heard that right, stem cells. In fact, 3D printing has even been applied to food and has been used to print everything from desserts to pizza. There are a couple of important differences, though, between decorating with buttercream and 3D printing. First, 3D printing is usually automated. There are non-automated versions of 3D printers out there. Most of these are 3D printing pens, which you hold in your hand while the pen extrudes plastic. Your hand controls the movement, making the movement manual rather than automated, and you can write your name in plastic with these just as you could write your name in buttercream icing on a cake. But the 3D printers that are set to change the world are automated. That's because 3D printing takes a long time, and because we need the extra precision and movement afforded by automation. A second key difference is that 3D printing is additive. This means that objects are built one layer at a time. While using a pastry bag is definitely extrusion, it is usually not additive because most creations are only one layer thick. Sadly, our options are limited for what we can lay down with buttercream, but the possibilities with 3D printers are endless.